Appreciate it.
All right, let's bring in our chief congressional correspondent, Chad Pergram. He's standing by for us. Chad, quite a couple hours here. What are the top line takeaways from what we've heard so far?
Well, good afternoon, Sandra. No surprise, Democrats believe that Jack Smith was trying to uphold the rule of law, and Republicans say that this was a political witch hunt. They believe that there was kind of the fix-in by Jack Smith trying to go after President Trump. Jack Smith, he was investigating two things: the idea of having classified information at Mar-a-Lago in the bedroom, the ballroom, the bathroom, and also whether or not he tried to subvert the 2020 election. Jim Jordan is the chairman of the Judiciary Committee. Listen.
He's got to get President Trump. He's got to stop President Trump from running, tie him up in court. He's got to get to trial, or at a minimum, insert an 165-page political document into the presidential campaign. It was always about politics.
Smith had plenty to say during the hearing. Republicans asked if Smith had a vendetta against President Trump. The president just posted that Smith is, quote, being decimated in the hearing. He called him a, quote, deranged animal. He calls the investigation a Democrat scam. Smith was not talking when I confronted him in the hall before the hearing. You have any response to Republicans trying to undercut you in this hearing today? Mr. Smith, will you have any problem talking about the grand jury issue today? I know that that is something that's protected. Will you change your position on that as they probe your questions? Will you change your view on the grand jury information? Will you talk about that in the hearing? Now, Smith said he did not charge the president with insurrection despite what went down at the Capitol on January 6th, but he was confident of the charges he did file. Smith believed he could win a conviction had he taken the case to trial.
President Trump was charged because the evidence established that he willfully broke the law, the very laws he took an oath to uphold. Grand juries in two separate districts reached this conclusion based on his actions, as alleged in the indictments they returned.
Now, the big issue in this hearing is phone records and metadata. The idea that Jack Smith issued these subpoenas to sweep up the information, not eavesdropping, not wiretapping, but determining who President Trump was talking to and communicating with around January 6th. Metadata is where you get point-to-point communication. There were 9 Republican lawmakers who were kind of swept up in that dragnet, including Lindsey Graham from South Carolina, Tommy Tuberville, the Republican senator from Alabama, Mike Kelly, who is a Republican representative from Pennsylvania. And then there's this whole Kevin McCarthy question here. The subpoena suggested that Kevin McCarthy, 17 days after he had become Speaker of the House, maybe was a flight risk, and that's something that he was pressed about in the hearing by Brandon Gill, a Republican of Texas. Again, they're in a recess right now. We think they'll probably come back in about 5 minutes or so. This was just a bathroom break. We will have votes in the House of Representatives later this afternoon. They've got a lot of members to go through, so this probably goes until the late period this afternoon here on Capitol Hill. Guys, back to you.
The person second in line to the presidency, a flight risk? I mean, I'm not sure where you'd ever come up with that.
Well, that was the incredulity that people were asking about, absolutely. And, you know, but that's the other thing, too. You get into this question of what's called in the Constitution the speech or debate clause, and whether or not, you know, if you have somebody who is the speaker or you have a lawmaker, whether or not you can investigate them. That's something that they're inoculated from when they're performing their congressional duties. But as Smith said in regard to Kevin McCarthy and any subpoena, well, you don't tell somebody that you might be looking at them, or you might be trying to get that information. And Ted Lieu, the Democrat from California, he suggested that. You don't say his line here, dude, I'm looking at you. Guys?
Chad, it looks like he's walking back in just a few seconds from now. We believe this will be back underway. Chad, before you go, what do you believe the headline is so far as to Jack Smith's defense of his investigations?
Yeah, well, I think that's the other thing here, too, is that Democrats, as I say, are trying to bump him up. It was rather interesting to contrast what he said today, where just from a charismatic standpoint, he doesn't seem maybe as fired up as he was in that recorded deposition. Remember, he came in about a week before Christmas, and we got that on New Year's Eve.
All right.
Chad, thanks so much. Let's get back to the hearing and listen in. Here again, Jack Smith.
Hey everyone, I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.